Today we're going to be making homemade lava lamps, and this is inspired by the science club at our school. For this experiment, you're going to need a bottle, whether it's a big one or a small one, some cooking oil, I have vegetable oil here, water, food coloring, and Alka-Seltzer tablets. I have the off-brand from Meyer. But if you don't have Alka-Seltzer tablets, you can get them at any grocery store near you. Convince your parents next time they go out to buy some. You know, if they get sick, it does help with nasal congestion, runny nose, sneezing, headaches, and sinus and pain pressure. First, we're going to take our bottle. I'm going to use the big one for this experiment, but you can use any water bottle you want. You might want to use this one at home, just so you don't waste as much oil. But I'm going to start with this one. Then you're going to take your oil, and you're going to fill it 3/4 of the way up. And if you don't know what 3/4 of the way up, a lot of bottles have something on them that will tell you. So I would say for the water bottle, about 3/4 is above the label. And on an orange juice bottle like this, it's about where this crease is. So I'm going to unscrew this and fill it 3/4 of the way up. You can see I have a towel on the table, so if you happen to spill any of this oil, that it doesn't stain or ruin the table you have, and that's about good. As you can see, using an orange juice bottle uses a lot of oil, so I recommend just using a water bottle, but anything will do. Next, you're gonna fill the rest of the way up with water. And the cool thing about oil and water is they never mix. What's happening is right when I poured the water in, it's gonna immediately go underneath the oil because oil and water do not mix. So we have our bottle full with oil and water. The water's on the bottom, oil's on top. Next, we're gonna take our food coloring. I have a pack with all the colors, red, yellow, green, or blue. I'm gonna use red because I think it's gonna look the coolest, but you can use whichever color you want. Watch as the food coloring falls to the bottom. And food coloring is mainly just water and dye. So the water is not going to mix with the oil, as why when you put the ball in, it stays as a ball and falls right through the oil. And you can just put a whole bunch, as much as you want. That's probably good. Looks pretty cool, right? So we have our dye in, and it's still in little balls at the bottom of this container. The last thing we're gonna do is the Alka-Seltzer tablets. And these things, when you put them into the bottle, it's gonna fall down into the water, and the water is gonna dissolve it. And when it dissolves, it's gonna form carbon dioxide at the bottom, which, you know, when you open up a soda and it's all fizzy, that's carbon dioxide. So we're gonna do that here. In a big bottle like this, I would recommend using a full tablet. But if you're at home using a little bottle like this, like we talked about fractions before, if you have a whole tablet and you break it in half, that's half. But for the small bottle, I'd recommend breaking the half again and just using 1/4 of the tablet, just for the small one. But for this big boy, we're gonna drop in all 4. And then when I drop them in, I'm gonna close the lid. And let's see what happens. See, they drop to the bottom. Now it's gonna start dissolving. You see the bubbles rushing up to the top? It's gonna mix the food coloring in the water. And as you can see, lots of bubbles, and it's fizzing, and it's forming something that looks like a lava lamp. And it's gonna get more intense as this Alka-Seltzer starts to dissolve in that water. Look how cool that is. So what did we learn today? We learned that you can take a bottle and have some vegetable oil and water and add some food coloring, and with an Alka-Seltzer tablet, you can make a really cool lava lamp. And also, make sure the lid's tight. If you flip it over and then flip it back, oil and water never mix. So the water went back to the bottom, and this is all the oil up here. And you can see all the little droplets in there. That's just water bubbles that will not mix with the oil. Thank you for tuning into this week's science experiment. And remember, don't do any of this without adult supervision at home.